Hey, what's up? I'm Mike Squires. This is Couchers Podcast, episode number 161. And my guest, Ciara Chinniah, a killer drummer from the UK. Maybe I'm going to fuck this up, but I think she's from Essex. I just had a long conversation with her. To be fair, it's been a few days, but uh, I have loved to follow her on social media because she focuses a lot of her energies on odd meters, and odd meters are rad. And it's funny, mostly drummers focus on odd meters because, it's the counting stuff. But I love it. I love it. Go give her a follow. I hope you enjoy this conversation. The last half of the conversation, we took a very fun turn. And, you know, we're just riffing. We're just talking. So don't go getting excited. And anyway, it's fun. I hope you like it. And I hope you enjoy sci-fi and time travel and aliens and ancient space warriors. Anyway, we had a great time. I hope you enjoy this. If you are enjoying the podcast or the cover song videos, which Ciara will be drumming in one very soon, she's delivered her drums already, and they're rad, of course. I'm very excited for this video and song, too. It's one of my favorite albums of the late 80s. Please consider supporting us on Patreon, patreon.com/couchriffs. That is what makes this possible. That's what makes this possible. That's what makes the videos possible. It's the only place you can download the audio. Occasionally, I send out some stuff to the different tiers, just sort of like surprise gifts. So, folks who are already supporting over there, thank you so much. I really appreciate you. You're the best. And thank you to River City Guitars in Spokane, Washington. rivercityguitars.com, on social media at River City Guitars. Every day is a buying day at River City Guitars. They specialize in all varieties of used, mostly gear, vintage and rare stuff. If you've got a guitar or two or a collection that you want to move around, you want to sell, every day is a buying day over there. So give them a call, 509 818 7693. My man Bobby over there is a great dude. I've known him for a long time. I met him through doing business, and that's a great way to meet someone and know if you can trust them. I'll tell you that. So you can also drop him an email, sales.rivercityguitars@gmail.com. Maybe include a picture. Tell him Squire sent you. It'll go a long way. We're like family. That's it, really. Don't forget the golden rule. Treat people the way you want to be treated. And don't forget to not be a douche. Hello. How's it going?
How are you?
Yeah, real good.
Good. Look at your room with your guitars.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this sort of like, 8 feet by 12 feet strip that you see seems very fancy and sophisticated. Over here is like a mountain of dog hair on a dog bed and the shoes from coming in the house.
Love it. Love it.
But I have some
Reality.
space. It's nice to have a space.
Yeah, for sure. Me too. So I'll show you
But you
something.
have a space. Where's your space at? Is it at your
Ooh,
home or
this
is
is
it?
at my
Oh,
house. Oh,
oh,
there we go.
killer.
This was the garage.
For
Yeah, we
Americans
moved.
listening,
Oh,
that's garage.
it was the garage.
It's
I
a
can't do it.
garage.
I can't do accents. But it was an office when we moved in. They turned it into this horribly furnished office, and I was like, "Yeah, this is going to be the drum room."
So you didn't even have to do anything.
No,
Did you soundproof it?
Not really. I've got
How's-
I've got panels on the ceiling just to make it sound better,
yeah.
hopefully, when I record. But no, like,
Oh,
everyone has to go upstairs if I'm playing because it's just a bit loud.
right. Where are you at? Where do you live?
I'm in Essex.
In Essex.
It's like east of London.
I've been. I
To
think
Essex or London?
well both. I think that I must have played Essex. What's the rock club there?
Oh, there's one in Southend, Chinneries.
There's like an academy in every town, right?
Uh, yeah, there's some. I don't know. I haven't lived here long enough,
Oh,
but
really?
um, yeah, I've been here. I don't know, 3 years, maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like it.
And the last year that you've been there is just like really you've lived there for 2 years. The last year
Yeah,
you've lived in the garage,
exactly. Yeah.
right? How has the last year affected what you do outside of just not being able to gig? You've been able to, I mean, create a load of videos.
Yeah, it's been a real weird one because pre-COVID I was gigging but not loads.
Yeah.
Just because that's the way the band is. They just do gigs every few months, and then COVID hit, and I don't know. I think maybe it's just like a response to not being allowed out. Not that I was going out lots anyway. I've got 2 kids. Um, but yeah, I really just kind of got into the swing of things of like making some videos, and um, I started a podcast with a couple of friends, and it's just been really nice to have that to focus on. I think, put your energy into it.
Tell me about it.
Well, you've got like, I don't know how you're doing it. Like you're so busy. Like you've got
I
two
also go
episodes
to
a
a full-time
week.
job.
Yeah, I how?
Second podcast. Well, my second podcast, I don't do any of the heavy lifting. My co-host partner there, he does all the editing, he does all the back end stuff. And so that's a gift. When I talked to him about starting that, that was kind of the thing. I was like, "Hey, does this sound fun to you? If it does, you would have to do basically everything except for have the conversation." Um
Yeah.
and luckily he was into it and it's super fun to do, you know. It hasn't taken off, but I don't think it's a tougher game than people think,
Hmm.
you
For
know.
sure. For sure. And it might just be, one episode that will take off maybe, or it hasn't taken off yet. I don't
I
know.
I think that I felt that way for a while. I thought that maybe there was going to be one thing. I mean, it's not that much different than any creative endeavor, you know. Um you think, well, if I have this thing happen or that thing happen, it'll change everything. And it kind of does, but also absolutely doesn't.
Mm,
Everything is a momentum builder.
yeah,
Although,
for sure.
what the hell do I know? Some people, it's just an avalanche for them,
Mm,
right? You hear that?
I did.
There's someone enjoying a motorcycle. Sounds really nice. It's an incredible 70 degrees here today, and which I don't know what that is. But 70 degrees is to me perfect. But there's still snow in my yard because it was 12 degrees 2 days ago.
That's a bit weird.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where are you?
Nothing to worry about. New York, upstate New York.
Oh, oh. Yeah, it gets cold there, doesn't it?
It's yeah, it gets cold here. But I lived in Seattle, which the weather there is very much like the weather that you guys have, rainy a lot.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Not a fan.
Uh, well, let's. I don't really care about talking about the weather here. I gotta walk outside and deal with it all the time. I gotta go. I gotta go look at the snow while it's 70, which is just,
Don't talk about it. It's God.
you just ignore it and maybe it'll go away. Um, so how long was it before you kicked yourself into gear and you're like, all right, well, and how long did you think this was gonna last when you started making, like, doubling down on making videos and stuff?
Um, that is a good question. Uh, I think maybe a couple of years ago, I started to get some nice comments on my Instagram, and a little community started to form. I feel like started to make friends
Right.
on Instagram, and I just thought this is really nice. And I guess I just started to pay more attention to what I was posting, why I was posting it.
Right.
Um, I I did a little bit of, oh, what's his name? This drummer, Orlando drummer. He influenced me a little bit. He had some really good thoughts about that. You know, about what are you doing? Why are you doing it? Who is it
Right.
for? And so it really made me think about, well, what's my aim here? I don't really want to take a photo of my lunch and put it out there, as a lot of people do, and respect. Good, love it.
I
But you know,
I have a policy. I don't like anyone's food pictures unless it's, I mean, it's got to be spectacular, but
yeah,
yeah.
yeah. And I just thought, okay, well, I really want to try and just add some value in some way to people, or to either to shout about something in a good way, to say this is really great, to teach something, um, or to give like a something positive. Just value is what I came away with after having a bit of a think. And
Right.
so maybe a couple of years ago, I just thought, well, let me just be a bit more intentional about what I'm going to post. So that's what I did, and I just started making some videos and posting stuff that I really enjoy. Um, you know, like odd time signatures and anything
It's
like that.
such a focus on odd time signatures and grooving within, you know, those odd meters.
Hmm.
It's super cool because a lot of people do it. Not a lot of people make it feel real like it's hard to make that feel natural, right?
Yeah, yeah, I think so. Um, I think odd time signatures are sometimes given a bad rap
Right.
because it's like, oh, it's a bit too proggy and a bit weird, and why would you
Not
do
very
that and
rock and
how?
roll. Right.
Yeah. Um, and I don't know, I always just enjoyed that restriction in a way, like this little quirk that I have to stay in this time signature, but I also want to make it feel nice. Um, but that really helped me, I think, just following what I really like to do, because then I think you attract like-minded people who enjoy it as well. And as I say, you kind of build a little community. And I've just been trying to do that really. And then I actually got some mics for my drum kit, uh, and started making slightly better videos, maybe. Uh, but that's the thing. Now I post a lot more than I did a couple of years ago, but I'm trying not to overthink it and just do it, and it not be a pressure. And it's not going to be perfect. And I don't have the time to sit there and edit anything really, you
Right.
know. So it's got to be quick. It's all about being efficient, I suppose, now as well. Like I want it to be valuable, and I want to be able to do it quickly.
Is that particularly difficult for you because there's two kids uh throwing toys against the door on the other side of that wall there?
Yeah, yeah. It's like I don't have that much time.
Right.
So
Do you guys
yeah,
have a
have to be
system
quick.
worked out in the house where you can sneak off and do this for X amount of time?
Not really. Not really. Like Thursday is a good day. Today is Thursday.
Thursday's the
Um,
day.
Today is a good day because both the girls go to nursery, so I've got a whole bunch of time.
Nice.
Um, and the weekend is a lot easier.
Right.
But yeah, in the week it's a juggling act really. It's not that much creativity unless it's on the practice pad. Then I can just that's not a problem. I can just do a little video of try this exercise.
Were drums your first instrument?
No, I wish it was.
Why?
No, because drums is amazing, and I was made. I started playing the violin when I was, I don't know, 10 or something, and I was absolutely awful at it. Um, yeah, typical thing when you're a kid, isn't it? And your parents are like, "Come on, choose an instrument or whatever," and I ended up with violin and hated it. Didn't want to practice. So I only started playing drums when I was 16. But yeah, it would have been nice to have taken up drums a lot earlier, but it wasn't really an option.
Did you play the violin from when you were a kid until you got your drum kit and you switched? No.
No,
Okay.
hell
Just
no.
short-lived,
Yeah.
I get it. What drew you to the drums over any other instrument? Where you're just like, I tried the violin, that's a stringed instrument, guitar and bass, they have strings, forget
They're
it.
out. Um, I really liked just rhythm. Me and my sisters used to dance when we were little, and massive fan of Michael Jackson, and so it was always about the beat, and I'd always wanted to be like in time to the music, and I don't know, I just was always drawn to that and making a beat.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I don't know why. I think it's just the whole rhythm dancing thing. And then eventually I just kept going on about it. And my parents were like, "Yeah, you sort it out. You go and find a teacher, uh, and then you can do it." So I did.
How so did you start out with a drum pad and a snare and then move on to a kit, or did you immediately find someone to teach you on a kit?
I did. I got lucky. It was a weird thing where I was round my friend's house and her friend was a drummer. And I don't even know, it sounds so sketchy now, but we ended up we ended up round his house,
Right.
and I was like, "Wow, let me have a go on your drums." And he was like, "Yeah, go on, have a go," and loved it. And he was like, "Right, well, you should have lessons with my teacher." Gave me his number for this teacher, and then that guy ended up selling me his drum kit. But I didn't have a drum kit for a while,
Right.
a few months, maybe even 6 months. So I was just, you know, having playing on a pillow, and a practice pad, and that was it. And until I got the kit.
How how quickly looking back, I know it's hard to for me it's hard to judge because I'm like, I was awesome. I mean, but I totally wasn't. I played so much and I sucked so bad. Which is evident when I would call my friends and be like, I'd throw my telephone down next to my guitar amp and say, "Listen to what I just learned," and they wouldn't know what it was, and it would be an enormously popular song, and That's, exhibit A. I sucked.
I
Uh,
don't believe it.
how quickly did you advance, do you suppose?
I think I learned very quickly and I advanced fairly quickly, but I only think I did that because I was so into it and so I put the time in. I wouldn't say it came to me naturally. I really struggled at the beginning with playing to a click and just figuring out certain things, reading music. Um, it didn't come naturally. I feel like maybe making a beat did. The fact that I had done dancing helped. But yeah, I think it's kind of like I was a quick learner, but it it was very helpful that I was so into it because then I just focused in and enjoyed the struggle in a way.
Right. The dance that you're talking about, was it like dance class where you're counting your steps? So
Yeah,
that helps a lot, right?
yeah. I did tap as
Oh,
well,
wow.
and so my teacher was like, "This is great. Like for your bass drum technique, this is really helpful because you
Yeah.
just are getting it." So that was really nice.
Oh, that's
Although,
amazing. I've never even considered that.
yeah, I didn't either. I was like, well, I just don't
Can
know
you
what I'm
still
doing.
tap?
Little,
You ever
yeah.
bust it out just like
I
socially?
do in the kitchen, and my husband looks at me like, "What are you doing?" And the kids just run away.
That's amazing. Does um does your husband play music?
No,
He
he's not musical at all.
It seems like you have a very patient household to have the drum kit just like on the other side of what I'm guessing is like the living room or something.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah, they are. They are. I don't know. I think that my husband was prepared because when we met, I was like in between some tours, and so he kind of got that that's what I'm about. And I think when he asked my dad like if he could marry me, my dad was
Very
like,
proper.
it was very proper. Um, my dad was like, yes, of course, but she's never going to stop drumming. Like, don't ever stop her drumming. It's her life, kind of thing. And it's just like, yeah, it's just part of me. And I'm really respectful. I don't play that much. I don't play late at night. I don't, you know, I fit in around them.
Uh there's not a lot of odd meter dancing. How did you get how did you get interested in odd meters? What drew you to that? Was it musical taste, like previous musical taste?
It was getting into bands like Dream Theater, getting into drummers like Mike Portnoy, Virgil Donati blew my mind. I was just like, oh, this is amazing. I don't know why. I just fell in love with it. And those two in particular were just huge influences. And I would just watch their videos over and over and over and over and loved it. Yeah, just something about it. I just like, oh my God, this is cool.
So you were never like never sitting down to learn AC/DC songs. You're like, nope.
You know, I would, and I did, and I had a lot of love for like Chad Smith. Chad
Okay.
Smith
Oh, he's great.
was like, I had a massive poster of him in my room, so I was a huge Chili Peppers fan. Um, I love a bit of 4/4. That's what I play most, really. They know I've only really been hired to do 4/4 anyway. Odd Times is just my little fun outlet, I suppose. I like it. I like Odd Times, but I also love just rocking out, you know.
So 16, you start taking your lessons. Is it the same year that you get your first kit
Yeah, yeah, must have been.
from the fellow that introduced you to the teacher?
Yeah.
So, so you get this kit, which is the first kit you ever played.
Mm.
I mean, do you still have it?
No, no, I can't even remember what I did. I don't know if I sold it or if I gave it to someone. I wish I had it. I
But
wish I
maybe it
had it.
wasn't very nice.
It was like a, what was it? Honor kit?
I didn't even know that they made
I
drums.
just, no, no. And the cymbals were a right old mix. Uh, oh, but good times, like really good memories
Right.
of that.
It's an exciting time when, when you are discovering stuff. And you teach, right?
Yeah,
When you teach and you get to see that experience, it's almost the same. It's not quite the same, but it's almost the same, right?
right. Yeah, when you see that spark and they're like, oh, and they're into it. Oh, it's just wonderful.
How long before you started playing with other people?
Not long, not long at all. Um, must have been a few months after I got the kit. Like it wasn't long at all. Um, because me and my sisters were musical anyway, like we used to sing together. And then I got the drums, and then one of my sisters played guitar and the other one played bass. Like we all kind of formed a band, basically. We were in a singing band, and then we brought the instruments into it.
You're like the Shijis.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
But it was great. It was great. And then me and one of my sisters, we formed another band, and I am so grateful for that because it really it gives you so much time to experiment and find your voice and just try a whole bunch of stuff. um really that was valuable time for me figuring out different drum parts, and it makes you better because I was so I had no clue, just trying to make a beat, uh and then you've got to play with a guitarist and play in time and keep everyone together and remember all the songs. You know,
It's a lot to remember.
it's a lot.
So all of your first musical, like all your first band experiences are along with your sister.
Yeah,
That's that's really awesome because there's a comfort there, right?
yeah, yeah. And there's immediate comfort and closeness. Yeah, it was really, really great. Um, yeah.
What did you ever? I mean, this is probably a really stupid question, but showing up to gigs and loading in your drums, did you ever like what kind of horse shit did you have to deal with as a woman? Basically, is what I'm getting at in a relationship.
Um, it wasn't too bad, really. It wasn't that bad. Um, uh, it wasn't too bad because the bands I was playing in were mostly all female anyway. Actually, that's not right. I was in a metal band as well back then. I really didn't get that much crap, I don't think, gigging, or I just wasn't hearing it because I was like, gotta get in, gotta set up, blah, 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 wasn't really paying attention. I found there was more sexism going on when I was at music college. That's where I felt it the most because it was just Yeah, me, one other girl, and the rest of the class are guys, and that was a bit rubbish because you got, you're good for a girl, or just
Right.
not maybe taken as seriously. Um, yeah, but I think it drove me to be better than all of them.
Right.
It just kind of gives you fire because you can't hear, you can't tell. Um, yeah,
So you went to music school straight out of regular school. That was your college, university.
yeah, yeah. So I don't know what the equivalent is, but I did my A levels here at school, and then after that, after doing really badly, I was like, right, I'm going to go to music college and do drumming because that's what I really want to do. So, yeah, from 18 till I was 22, um, I was there studying.
And how did that impact what you were doing already? And did you leave home? Like, did you move far away from home to do that, or was it close to home?
I actually commuted every day on the train. Um,
How far?
you know, I don't know miles, but it took me like maybe an hour and a bit
Yeah.
each way. Wasn't it was all right. It was all right. Um, it was great. It was so good to go there because it was immediately like I can play with a million people, and I just was, so into drumming and what I wanted to do and experiment with. So I was probably in way too many bands, classic drummer uh,
Right.
in 5+ bands. Um, so it didn't affect my bands at home. I feel like that got affected when I started to get gigs, like paying gigs, and then that would cut into our rehearsal or schedule that we'd had planned. That was a bit tricky. Um,
Band dynamics.
yeah.
Did they teach you anything about that in music school?
No, they didn't.
Yeah.
No.
It's funny. Every person that I talk to for the podcast that has been to school for music, I ask them, like, don't you, everyone wishes that they would have had you know, a part of the curriculum that didn't involve just theory,
Yeah.
practice, you know, um, because there's a lot more to playing music. I guess,
Yeah.
I mean, performance is that simple. So if your degree is performance, you can't fault them for not learning yet.
Yeah. I just think, yeah, a band can be such a precious thing. Uh, Personalities and oh, it's just like a precious thing that sometimes you love it and you got to hold it tight, but you also can't hold it that tight because it will break. And then it's complicated sometimes. Am
Well,
I right?
everyone, you're making something, and everyone wants to feel like they've had an opportunity to fully express themselves within creation. And it's comical, but like I've said this a million times. Do you ever watch that Metallica movie? Um
The documentary,
yeah,
yeah,
it's incredible, right?
yeah,
Because they come off like absolute crybaby, grown adult crybabies, just throwing tantrums, saying stupid stuff, trying to squeeze in every little thing that they can. And for bands that are, still in the garage or whatever, it's a it's really nice to see that it's not just you, where it's you could be in the most successful band in the world and same problems.
Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
On the same token, I thought it was incredibly brave of Metallica to allow that to happen.
Yeah.
Because I'll
I
tell you, I
agree.
would have kicked those guys right out of the studio as soon as the fighting started.
Oh, I want to watch that now again. Oh, yeah. I get it. It's just, yeah. It's nice to know that it's a normal thing, a, a part of being in a band, but I wish it was like widely maybe talked about a bit more, or you were prepared for it a bit more.
Right.
Don't know.
I know you've had many experiences, but do you prefer the start a band or join a band?
Start a band.
Really?
Yeah.
Why?
Yeah. Because I've got the freedom then to play what I want and collaborate, and I really like that part. I like the creating part. Um,
Therein lies some kind of monster fact.
yeah.
It's
Oh, you're on to me. Yeah.
uh yeah, I'm a join a band person. It's so much easier. And if you're if you're prepared and you have a good reputation, you can join a band that's gigging and doing, that you can go out and start doing stuff. Starting a band is hard. I applaud you for being willing to put in that kind of work.
Well, you know, I'm kind of both. I've joined many a band, and I get you. I think it is so nice. I don't have to worry. I just do my thing, and um, it's a lot less work. But I find if you're starting a band, and I haven't done that, I haven't started a band much. So I might be looking at it through rose tinted glasses,
Right.
but it seems a bit like, oh, well, if you create it, then you're going to be super proud and um, it's yours, you know?
Of course.
But yeah, it's a lot of work.
Are you wearing hearing protection when you play?
Yeah,
Good. Have you always?
no, no, I didn't when I was younger. I just kind of sometimes wore earplugs, and usually they were rubbish, like foam ones.
That still
Uh,
cuts all that symbol.
it's what?
It still cuts all the symbol damage.
Yeah, yeah. I haven't always been consistent, but I guess maybe 10 years ago, I just was like, or even 5 years ago, I was like, no, and I got some molded earplugs, and it's I now that's it. I will not play unless they're in
Yeah.
because I can't stand it. I can't stand the symbols.
I have
Yeah.
a constant ring.
No.
Yeah, it's terrible. Sometimes it's hard for me to fall asleep because of it. Symbol
Oh, how long has that been?
years.
Oh,
Yeah.
both ears.
Yeah. I mean, whatever.
Hmm. My
That's
friend's just got that too.
is that right?
And she's been listening to like another. I think there's something you can listen to which is like the same frequency that cancels it out.
Oh, really?
So that's what she does when she goes to
Mhm.
sleep.
It-
I don't know. I don't even know, but she looked it up and she listens to these things and
Oh,
can
crazy.
sleep now.
I'll figure it out. What's the vibe there with COVID restrictions and potentially opening back up?
I would say it's kind of positive. Um, a lot of people I talk to are over lockdown. They're having a pretty awful time. And the big feeling is after this one, we can't have another lockdown. Like it would break the UK, because of how Boris has managed things. Don't want a bad mouth, but it's been a bit of a mess, the way it's handled.
Sure.
Um, but it feels like maybe it's getting better. Like my parents have had the vaccine,
Oh, good.
and um, weirdly, I'm getting it on Saturday,
Amazing.
which is great, but very weird because I'm fine. Um,
I finally got an appointment,
yes.
but it's
See?
6 weeks out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's insane.
Oh. But yeah, I just think it's reassuring that people are getting vaccinated, and there's apparently a roadmap to out of lockdown. So in a few weeks, things are going to slowly start opening. Uh, Children are back at school now, and hopefully by the summer, things might be a bit more normal, maybe. How about you guys?
Well, I heard rumors that there were a couple of festivals that were back on. Do you know if that's true?
Uh, I'm not really sure about that. I kind of think it's premature for anyone to announce that.
I think so too.
Yeah, I wouldn't bet on it. I would say no.
I mean, I'm no scientist, but I've lived
Yeah.
through the last year.
Yeah. I think they're wrong. I would be amazed if that happened, but I think no. I think it's too early. I think they're just a bit they're over keen, whoever's announced that. I just think it's not, I don't see how that's going to work.
I don't either. But again, not a scientist, not a leader. I'm I'm going to keep my mask on,
Yeah.
get my shot like a good boy, and stay optimistic because I think
Yeah.
optimistic is the best you can do right now.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm just glad not to go back to the weather, but it is getting warmer here, and it just makes all the difference from when you couldn't go out because it was so bad. So I think that always makes people feel better. So
uh,
um,
no, I don't want to stir up like political stuff. I try to
go
mostly
on.
stay clear, right? We've had a lot of changes here lately. Uh,
Yeah.
uh, and I'm always for change, positive change, and that's of course my opinion, and not everyone shares it, but whatever. This is my show, and I don't care. They can't talk back right now. They can leave a comment. The just I think it was today, could have been yesterday. There was you know, the president signed through some stuff. And everyone, a lot of people are going to get aid here, which it's laughable for folks who haven't been able to work at all and have fallen behind in their bills. Like I haven't stopped working. I worked all the way through the year. I even had two jobs for a while. But you guys have more social programs than we do. Uh have you guys like has that kind of thing been happening in the UK, or has it been a fend for yourself situation? Hope you have your ducks in a row.
Hmm. Well, they've tried to offer support, and there has been support there for people like myself who are self-employed.
Right.
Um, they had various grants throughout the year, which has been really, really, really helpful. And there's also uh, other grants that aren't as well known, like you have to go looking for them, but they're there specifically for musicians as well. I think it hasn't helped everyone though. Like I know a lot of people who have had a bad landlord, and they won't freeze their rent, they won't make any changes for them. So it's full of holes, unfortunately.
Right.
And I know there are also some people who don't qualify for some of these benefits as well. So it's okay, but I think that a lot of people have fallen through the net and will need support. And I'm frankly really worried about people's mental health and not getting support there, because already it's so far behind, like the waiting lists, and just to get any sort of counsellor or anything on the NHS, which is amazing. But when the wait is so long, when it's like 6 months plus,
Right. A
it's
lot of
not
companies.
gonna work. Yeah,
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
yeah,
It's yeah, I think that it's particularly difficult for people who are used to performing,
mm,
but just people who are, you know, extroverts and social by nature. And I don't mean like social media. I mean, you know, actual social interaction. I mean, and also I know a lot of people who work in the service industry, coffee
mm,
shops, bars, restaurants. Um, they suffered.
yeah.
That was that was a tough go. Um, I haven't had, like I said, I worked so much this year. I didn't even I didn't even look up to, I just nose to the grindstone.
Mm,
So I was fortunate, very fortunate.
mm,
But, it could have gone another way. Like one small choice in life is the difference between me having two jobs or one full-time job all year and me waiting tables and all of a sudden not having work for 9 months.
yeah, yeah. That's it. I feel like over here they tried, um, and at first it seemed to be really good. Like we're all in this together. We're going to freeze stuff so people don't have to pay bills, rent. We're gonna help everybody, and we're all gonna be okay. And then I think after that, not so much. It was a bit like, well, that's not actually happening. Uh, People are still having to pay their rent, or they're not getting the money coming in. And as you said, if they're in the service industry, that's really rough.
Right.
So I have no idea how we're going to get out of this mess. And I'm probably going to end up in a huge, huge amount of debt.
Right. Is it here the vibe is, I think restaurants actually just started opening back up again in New York. I haven't
Oh,
I haven't stepped foot in a New York in a restaurant in a year, but um we've had delivery a few times. Not here because we live remotely enough that you barely get mail here, but uh in the city in Brooklyn, we've had plenty of food delivery.
mm,
But that's it. Like that's the deal. Like food delivery, everything's delivered. Like
Yeah.
people go to the store or whatever, but there were insane lines at the grocery store. I'm sure you saw it on the news. Maybe not.
Mm.
Uh, but it's interesting to talk to someone who had like you think, well, people in other countries, look how they're handling it, and things are going like, is there finger pointing going on the news there? Like, well, look at Sweden, look at Australia or whatever. But I don't think Sweden actually knocked it out of the park, did they?
I don't think so. I think there's definitely been blaming, and there's definitely been. I'm not very well read up on this, but my husband has been following it a bit more closely than I about the whole vaccination argument that I think might get this wrong, but the European Union blocked the vaccine from being sent to Australia, and it's all a bit of a mess in that sense, and a lot of finger pointing with that. And I think it's making Brexit look like a good idea. I was not for Brexit. I wanted to remain in Europe personally.
Sure.
Um, but in terms of all the vaccines that we've managed to get to so quickly, because we didn't have to wait for any word from Europe. Basically, we were just like, yes, sign us up. So it's very political in that arena. But yeah, I just personally, I just think everyone just come on. This is never go. This has never happened before. We need to work together. Please stop being children and pointing the finger, and we really just need to help each other.
Right.
You know.
Agreed. Let's move back into music talk. Good golly. Good golly. What so what is a typical day for you? Like Thursday, we know Thursday you play. How much woodshedding do you do on Thursday?
Well, when the girls both started going to nursery on a Thursday, so it must have been 6 months ago, maybe a bit longer. I was like, right, come on, Thursday, get in the drum room. And I would just go nuts and be in here pretty much all day, just trying to. I got in the mindset of, right, I can do loads of content now because I'm here, and do stuff and practice this and practice that. But actually, I found that was a bit too much because then I'm so tired. There's not much of me left to do the parenting thing.
Right.
So I only play for a few hours, really, um, if that. Now I'm just trying to find the balance.
Does teaching happen every day?
No, teaching happens four times a week. So on a Tuesday evening, Wednesday evening, Friday, and Saturday all day.
So it doesn't interfere with your Thursday fun drum day.
No, I have made a point not to take on any students on that day
Right.
at the moment, so I can just do what I want and drum and chill out as well. I'm just trying to find that balance of playing, but also just relaxing too.
Going through your videos, it's incredible. There are videos of you drumming while you're pregnant.
Yeah.
And I wanted to ask you, physically, like, did you have to adjust what you were doing because how your body was changing?
No, the only thing I just made a video about this today actually. The
Amazing.
only thing I did was sat further back. The more the bump grew, I just kind of was like, okay, yeah, yeah. And just kind of sat back a bit.
I've been doing that lately. That's why I'm not pregnant for the record.
That's it. I don't think I changed anything else. And as I mentioned this in the video that to me, being pregnant, drumming was the only thing that was the same and that was constant and that wasn't new and was comforting because when you're pregnant, everything is changing so much. You know, my hair, my skin, my mood, everything. What I eat can feel different,
Right.
but I sit at the kit, it's the same, and it's great.
Your How old is your older child?
She's 4.
Has she shown any inclination for drums or rhythm because of her experience being inside of you while you're drumming?
Um, I don't know. Like they're both into coming in here and playing, and Quinn, my eldest, she like I don't been able to teach her anything because she doesn't listen to me. You
Right.
know, she's like, "Shut up, mum." But she does copy, so she was just doing this quite quickly and having a good old time.
Right.
I'm not sure about her timekeeping, but on the other hand, this is where it amazed me the other day. Indy, she is she's going to be 2 in May. Now she hasn't really been on my drums much, but the other day,
She
I,
busted out
I
some 7/8.
yeah, like come on. But she went on the drums for like the first time, and she's like a whirlwind personality wise. She's almost like a thug because she'll just go "Ah," and like yell and go wakey wakey mommy, like there's no quiet. It's hilarious, and she's just like proper like whoa, and like get involved, runs around, falls over, hits her head, is like yeah, come on. She's just very funny and feisty and not gentle. She's just not that way. She's brilliant. But when I put her on my drums, she was so gentle and she was just like so careful with all the cymbals and the stick and was like holding it perfectly. I was like, what is happening here?
You should tell her that everything in the house is a drum.
Yeah. It was great. Pardon? This is my husband butting in now. What?
Stop romanticising one daughter. The other one was exactly the same.
No, she wasn't. You don't remember.
I do.
He thinks I'm romanticising one daughter of the other. He thinks Quinn was exactly the same, but she wasn't. They're both amazing. Quinn's like all up for it, yeah, yeah, yeah. Indy's like, ding, ding, and gentle, jazzer.
Right. Have you put her how long ago was that?
Last week. It was
Last week?
last week. Yeah.
Put hand drums in front of them?
No,
Is
not
hand drumming
like,
part of your thing?
not really. I'm not a proper percussionist person. I've got like a boron here but no, I've got like this pink tom and I brought that out in there and let them just bash on that.
Right.
Yeah, it's a funny one for me because as well I don't want to like push it. I don't want to push it on them and I kind of want them to come to me or say they want a drum and then I'll say yeah, of course.
Maybe they'll want a violin.
No.
The violins around here.
No, not allowed.
So, have you played in a prog rock band yet? Have you played in a proper like heavy modern prog band?
Um, ish.
Yeah.
two I'm thinking of. One, very early on when I was at music college and I formed a band with a couple of guys. That was proper proggy and that was cool. We were called the Vicious Head Society.
Yeah.
And that was fun. We recorded a couple of songs, but I don't think we ever gigged. And then I didn't really do that too much. Me and my sister, I basically said to her, come on, I want you to play some odd times with me. So this is what you have to do. And I'd make her play some songs in seven. But then for a long time, I didn't really do it. I just kind of listened to Dream Theater here and there and just kind of did rock and pop and whatever. And then I was on tour and the tech guy, he was the nicest like stagehand. He would always put up like a picture on the wings and like put a smiley face, and he was just like such a warm presence, and just a nice caring soul. And one day I was just playing some of the stuff that I wanted to play for warm up and sound check before everyone else had got there, and he just started playing keys, and I was like, oh my god, who is this? Like, this is amazing.
Right.
You're amazing. And that from then on, every day we jammed together before the show would start. And then he brought in he's got like amazing setup at home, massive Korg red big keyboard and some other amazing stuff. And so we ended up forming a little duo and calling ourselves Red Monster. And then of course it was time to leave to end the tour, and we were in Germany. He lives in Hamburg, I live in the UK, and I was like, no, like, you make me feel like I can drum, like you make me feel good about myself. And he was like, I feel the same way about you. And so I went back and we recorded some songs together. He got a bass player to come and record with us. And then maybe a year or two later, I went back again and we had a guitar player come in and we did some like recordings like of the rehearsals. And that's a project that I love dearly, but I just haven't been able to, we haven't really been able to get it together.
Last year. Are you guys able to do anything remotely?
I would love that. I would love that. He's not, how do I say this kindly? Yeah. Yeah. Like, I have the setup here and he doesn't so much, but it's something that I really, 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 really want to try and do again. We'll just go over there when this is all over, because I don't know, some people there's that connection, and I hadn't had it so strongly for a long time.
Right.
So that is on my goals of life, is to, get an album together or something, do some gigs.
You guys have releases? Have you guys released some of the music that you
No.
Who were you guys on tour with when you met?
Well, it's really not glamorous at all. It's like, it was just a show. It was called the 12 Tenors. So it was 12 singers and me, and then like a pianist and a keyboard player. It's a very tiny band.
Yeah.
So it was like a proper musical kind of show. Like, not, yeah, I guess, bit cheesy. Like, they did some opera, they did a bit of pop, they did some soul. It was just kind of like a family, like a show, family. I don't know what you want to call it.
Hey, you were playing your drums and earning a living, or earning some money.
Yeah. And he was just a techie.
Yeah.
not just, but he was. I love techies, and he was just like making the show run, and yeah, just amazing that he did. You know, he if he just hadn't started jamming along with me, you know,
Have
wouldn't
you
have known.
have you had a lot of weird gigs like that?
Um, I've had a few. I had one. Yeah. I had that gig, and then I did the set for the same company I did with just loads of female singers. So it was like the 10 sopranos,
Mhm.
and that was fun.
How many tenors were there?
There were 12 tenors.
They only had money to pay 10 sopranos.
I know, right? I don't know what that's about,
Yeah.
but that was fun. That was good. Um, and
How did you come
yeah,
to that gig?
oh, well, it's such a crazy. These things can just happen in an instant, isn't it? Like, so I ended. Oh, I don't really want to be unkind, but I did this gig for this singer, and he was a bit tricky. Like, he wanted me to come and audition for this show he was doing, and he was very intense. He was like, okay, you need to learn the part exactly, blah 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 blah. Make sure you're here. And he just kept like following up and checking I was going to turn up. I'm like, yeah, I know. Yes, I'm there. I said yes. I'm going to be there. And you know, intense from the start. I should have known.
Right.
But I went to this audition and played the track, and then he was like, right, cool, you know, and it was all a bit, you know, weird because he was like, just play me freestyle now, just do what you would do. So I did what I would do, and then he's like, oh no, don't do that. Just play what's on the record. I'm like, yeah, that's what I was gonna do. Oh, I should have known. And then he was like, okay, cool, you're in. And so there was a lot of rehearsals for this gig that he had planned on doing. He'd hired really expensive rehearsal studios, got a big old band in there. The click track was crazy. It wasn't like a proper click track. It's like he recorded it and then he just went in and did it.
Pin drop.
So so that was really bad.
So it wasn't quantized at all. It was all like manual.
Yeah, it was very weird, and things weren't like lining up. Like people were like, "What's up with the track?" I'm like, "It's not right." I had to go around to his house and help fix it. And so this was a lot of intense rehearsals for this one gig. It wasn't very good, and in my opinion,
Right.
but the keyboard player of that gig, a lovely lady called Katie Lipson, she recommended me for these German tours, like 12 tenors, 10 soprano gig, because she was going to be the MD
Oh, amazing.
of it. So if I hadn't have done that crazy gig, I wouldn't have toured Germany and I wouldn't have met Bernd and done Red Monster. So it was very bizarre. And that was the only gig this guy ever did as well. It was like so strange. Very strange.
Sounds crazy. Well, he sounds like someone who probably did not have a lot of experience, but was intent on seeing something through his way because he had a stubborn vision, because he's trying to fully express himself.
Yes, I think he had the finances to do it.
Right.
And so he did.
Well, nothing says thank you like money. if you're asked to do something for you, maybe nothing says thank you like money.
I love that.
Uh,
Yeah.
what have you left the UK to tour on other occasions outside of those German tours?
Yeah, I did a few gigs in America actually.
You did.
Yeah, not many gigs.
Where'd you go?
Where we went to Chicago.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I'm not gonna remember any of the venues because my brain is like a sieve. Uh, nope. But they were just kind of small clubs. I was playing for a guy called Duncan Reed. He was in a band called The Boys,
Mm-hmm.
and that was nice. That was a cool little jaunt to the States, and he gigged all over. Pardon me?
All the gigs were in Chicago?
They were around Chicago. I don't think we traveled too far. Uh,
Interesting.
yeah, I don't feel like they were all in like Chicago. I feel like they were like a drive away.
Right.
So, but yeah, I'd have to look it up. Oh, yeah, getting old.
The- is he a big artist? Is he a popular?
In some places, yeah, he's got a really big following. He's got a really good following in Europe on the whole. Um, maybe not so much in the UK, but in Europe and Japan, South America.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he does
Do you
quite
still play
well.
with him? Like if things open up, are you still playing with him?
No, no, we parted ways because, well, a few things really. I was in another band at the time, and that was taking up a lot of my time. I
You
got
needed
married.
to express yourself.
Exactly. Uh, yeah, it was just kind of like um, a few other things within the band dynamics.
There are a lot.
Just
You don't have to go. You don't have to. I've left bands.
I was kind of I would totally jump for him any day. If he called me, I'd be like, yeah,
Right.
for sure.
Especially a trip to South America, right?
Yeah.
What
Yeah.
about recreational travel? Have you done much of that? Have you been around
Uh
for fun?
yeah, here and there, but not as much as I want to. You know, I would really like to go to Japan. I would really like to go to New Zealand, South America, and visit Canada. There's so many places I want to go, but I have been to quite a lot of places in Europe. I've been to Australia and America. And Egypt, that is somewhere I really want to go.
I would like to I would like to see that. I would like to see the pyramids for sure. I've never seen the Grand Canyon in America. That's it's a pretty spectacular thing. I feel like I
Yeah.
need to see that.
Yeah, same.
Not getting any younger. But the pyramids, people made that shit. Like I want to.
Yeah,
That's crazy. How big are they? Do you know how tall they are? Were you a
like a mountain.
were you were you a like a King Tut file as a kid?
Yeah, oh God. I've got hieroglyphics on my back.
What
Uh, I've got some hieroglyphics on my back here, tattoo.
amazing. So you're fully in.
Um,
Do you know what they say? Or did you just pick some that you thought,
yeah. No, I just we had a little moment of frozenness, I think,
oh, do
on here.
the glyphs, do you know what they translate to, or did you just pick some that looked cool and like metal?
No, so I kind of wanted it to mean something, and so I've got the Ankh symbol, like the life symbol. I've got a feather, which was like representing truth and justice for a certain Egyptian goddess. And then what else? And then I've got the protection eye
Yeah,
as well, because
Horus.
I really like that too, because I want it to be like a life protection truth kind of thing.
Is that Horus, the eye?
Yeah, yeah.
I think my wife has that one. She's got a bunch of those. You go to hell for those glyphs, you know.
Probably,
Certain sense.
probably. Yeah. But yeah, no, totally, totally wanna go there and see it, and love that all. Have you? I'm gonna go there.
I wonder if there's a
Uh,
gig to be had there.
what's that?
What if there's a gig to be played in Egypt? There must be. I mean, anywhere there's teenagers and an internet connection, there's kids that are into to rock and metal or just music, right?
Yeah, we should find that
You would
and
think.
go.
You would think. What were you gonna say?
I was gonna take the conversation into a weird place,
Oh,
and
great. Let's go.
I was gonna talk about aliens and UFOs and stuff.
Fuck yeah, let's go.
Yeah. Okay, so apparently beneath the Sphinx there's a spaceship.
There's a cat box.
Yeah, there's a cat box. But yeah, apparently there's like ancient writings that says the answer to life and to our survival is below the Sphinx, and apparently there's supposed to be a spaceship there.
Like an arc.
Yeah, love it.
Trying to tell me
Yeah,
arc there?
I don't know. Maybe look it up.
So I think that it's safe to say that you believe that we've been visited by extraterrestrial life, intelligent
Yes,
extraterrestrial life.
I think so.
Do you think that we're like constantly or consistently being visited and monitored?
Uh, yeah, yeah. What do you think?
Do you think they walk among us?
Maybe. I don't know. I've read some serious, crazy stuff. Like, I will definitely go down the crazy conspiracy theory road a little bit and
My
think,
favorite things
that's
are the
interesting.
have you seen the videos that are you stay up too late on YouTube and you can really get down a crazy rabbit hole, right? But my
Mhm.
favorite is like the you know, UN meeting room like faked videos where it's like shape shifting representative from wherever, fill in the blank from France, let's guard down. And you're like, what? And you
Yeah.
click on it because it sounds amazing, right? And there's like some sort of weird effect that they put on the eyes, You're
Yes.
like, what?
Ah, I know. I love it.
I mean, but I'm occasionally, I'll go look anyway. Here's what I think. I think I told my friend Leif this, and he likes to smoke a lot of weed. And he just, when I said it, he didn't say anything for like 10 seconds and then just kind of gave me the Keanu Reeves, like, whoa. Because he's talking about time travel and aliens. And I'm like, here's what I think. I think that anything that we believe is true, right? The power of thought and the power of imagination and creativity is the most powerful thing that humans have going, more than opposable thumbs, like for real,
Mm,
because you could lose your thumb and still, figure out how to work tools and build pyramids, whatever. So here's what I think. Everything that we've imagined in movies. I listened to this podcast. I'm gonna be splattery a little bit. Last summer, I listened to this podcast called Wind of Change, and it doesn't necessarily um, have anything to do with what we're saying, except that there's a whole part about um, espionage in the 60s, how technology was driven by Hollywood. Hollywood would create
Mm.
these fantastic things, right? And then people at the CIA and the KGB and all over, where whatever, they would see these things and say, well, I wonder if we, I wonder if that's possible." And then they would fucking make it. Like cameras that were lapels, like just little buttons or whatever. Just, and these things worked and they were real, but they were only real because we imagined them first. And I believe that anything that we imagine can become true. Now, I don't know how much I don't know if I'm 110% on aliens, but I'm not above the idea that what we see as aliens, what have been perceived as aliens could be us time traveling.
Yes.
Fuck off.
Yes.
And we are visiting and monitoring and trying to unfuck the future because clearly it's fucked.
Yes. Yes. I
I
like that.
I think it makes sense. And uh, time travel sounds preposterous. To me, it sounds ridiculous. I mean, I can get to work on time most days. Time travel? No. But we've imagined it. We have imagined it, and people much smarter than I am are thinking about it all the fucking time. They're not thinking about making fucking quarantine cover song jams and staffing them. That is, they have no, that is not even in the arena of their concerns. They don't even know it exists because they're like writing out equations, building weird boxes that move in directions that you can't see. I don't know, but I think that is, I think the future isn't real.
I like that. I like that theory. I think it's definitely plausible for sure. I think I agree. I think so long as you can imagine it, someone is trying to do it or make it.
That
And uh, yeah, I think I believe that it could be time travelers. I also think yes, there could be aliens living amongst us, and I think there's a whole lot of stuff going on
yeah.
that we just don't have any idea because it would freak out society. I think there's a lots going on that we will never know.
God, I hope so. I thought about this like yesterday morning when I was walking my dogs at 6:30 a.m. I watched that movie that was uh supposed to be, it's fictional, a piece of fiction, but what was it called? It came out 4 or 5 years ago, and it is based on the idea that some buffoon Americans came to the UK, scammed the US government basically, who were trying to get uh this is terrible radio. Stanley Kubrick to make a lunar landing movie.
Oh,
Right.
okay.
Like
Yeah.
they were trying to hire him to make a lunar landing movie, but he was like, fuck off. And so they made one without him, but they just but they got so messed up and they were so doped up and they got mixed up with these hippies, and they made the movie in this warehouse in the UK, but the the launch went, and the whole thing was like, just in case it's a failure, we want to have this thing queued up because we have to be successful in the race, right?
Mm.
And so in the end, it's it doesn't really tell you. Like, it's you don't know. They don't know if they did it or not. They're like, I don't know if that's our film. We were too messed up when it was made. But it was interesting, and I thought a lot about it because technology was pretty poor then, and the video was poor. And technology is, I mean, arguably great now, compared to then. And then you have like the Mars landings, and it's incredible, but that shit looks fake, man. But then again, I've never been to Mars.
It's hard to know, isn't it? And then, if you're looking at what I'm looking at on YouTube, then you're hearing like people confessing that it was their job in NASA to get rid of all the UFOs in the pictures, you know?
In which pictures?
What's that?
In which pictures?
Oh, any of space, like, of the moon or
That is just
of
like it's like the Jetsons up there. It's just like,
apparently there's like there's a base on the moon, and there's UFOs and all sorts.
oh, I mean, I don't really, I don't go for that.
I'm just saying what I'm seeing.
I love all those funky movies though. I do. I love all the funky movies. But I don't know. Do you think that sending people to Mars is a good idea or a bad idea?
Oh, I really think we need to work out what's going on in this world first,
Bingo.
and not waste, but don't spend the money doing it. I'm all up for exploring space, but I think we need to really sort our shit out here and put the money where people need it and come together as a planet.
Agreed.
Yeah.
What do you think about Trump's Space Force? I was pretty stoked. I was like, I'll just say it. Not a big fan of Trump. But I jokingly, I'm surprised that in this current culture, climate, and whatever, that I didn't get canceled. But we weren't quite to canceling people yet. But I said, shit, if you will make me an officer in Space Force, you've got my vote. Hey, I'm 46, overweight, and ready to go. Make me an officer.
Done.
You've got my vote, Donnie.
Oh, I don't
He
I
didn't.
don't really know much about it, but from the sounds of it, it sounds like it's to protect Earth. And I'm not into that. I'm not into that at all. I'm into peace and come on, if there's any aliens coming in, they're going to be so highly advanced, we're going to be gone. I don't think that's why he's doing it, but I just feel like if it's about violence and control, I'm not really down with it.
I imagine that it's more about just like flexing, right?
Mm.
Like, look at us. We're the first with a fucking Space Force. Fucking Space Force. That's what he
It's
wanted.
incredible.
Space
Give me a Trump impression. Come on.
Force. No, I don't have one. I had a Paul Stanley, but I don't have a Don Trump. Um, but I mean, it's a fascinating concept, but also just the worst farce. Just awful. Or maybe he knows some shit that we don't know.
Yeah, yeah, I'm sure he does. It's terrifying that he was your president, and I'm glad he's gone.
Same. What do you think music sounds like? Here's a funny thing. Here's a funny thought. In movies, sci-fi movies specifically, music has been a presence occasionally, like on fucking Flash Gordon and the Buck Rogers TV show, and in Star Wars. There was the Cantina Band, and it just sounded like the Muppets, sounded like the Muppets, basically, kinda like a Jim Henson Jam, right? Uh, like if Benny Hill was a cartoon. Um, what do you think music sounds like? Do you think it sounds like whale sounds?
Well, I think my first question is, can you actually hear music in space? And then, if you can, I would want it to sound like, Close Encounters of the Third Kind,
Yeah.
with the whole thing, all of that, and like heavenly choral uplifting sounds. Maybe a bit.
Here's the thing about the emotional attachment to choral music and associating that with being heavenly is like that's just a sound that humans are capable of, and they have you just like art and imagery, you have to attach something that we can take in to a human emotion.
Mm.
And then but we don't know. Uh
No.
these lizard people, they do you think they're lizards? I don't know. Do you think they're whales? Do you think whales are aliens?
There must be. Yeah.
Or squid?
No.
Like what's the other one?
Squid are weird.
Something like that. Octopus are supposed to be aliens or something.
Yeah. Or what I think is weird, like those anteaters are weird, aren't they? They're like long.
They're at least like they're mammals and they have like elephant like things. Here's the other thing that I fucked Leif up with. I was like, buddy, Earth is terraformed. And he was like, what? I was like, Earth is terraformed. We made it. And he was like, whoa, tell me more. I'm just making it up as I go. I was like,
Oh,
yeah,
okay.
there were dinosaurs, right? Yeah. And there was an asteroid. Yeah. We already fucked one planet up. We already fucked another planet up. We found Earth. We nuked it.
Yeah. Oh my God.
We nuked it. And
That's right. Oh,
because
I love it.
because that was a predator that we couldn't deal with that. What's the easiest way to deal with it? Nuke it.
Yes.
We nuked
Yes.
and then we populated it.
Yes.
Huh?
I love that.
Well, that's what we're
That's a really good one.
that's what Elon Musk is doing right now. I don't know. He's like looking for a place to nuke.
Yeah. 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 Oh God.
Sci-fi.
Love it.
Science fact. Alternative science facts. You have any ridiculous or I mean, you know, there's probably it's plausible to think that someone is listening to me and saying, "Well, you sound like an idiot because everyone knows that's actually true."
Oh, but it's yeah. I don't know. I walk a thin line between being sensible, going, yeah, this could be true, and then being like, yeah, man, it's real. There are aliens in underground. It depends what day it is. You know, And there's this book I was reading by, I can't even, my brain is like a sieve, as I said, by this colonel guy, and he talks about the tall whites. Have you heard about this?
Nope. But
Oh gosh, it's fascinating. It talks about how he worked in a military base in California, I think, somewhere, and that he was like, do you know Bob Lazar?
yeah,
Yeah, so it's kind of like similar to what he was doing, and he got privy to, he saw some tall white aliens, and they're working together, and yeah, in underground bases in America. It's fascinating.
you think some aliens crashed and then it's kind of some ET shit?
I don't know. I don't know really. I don't know. Some people say there's already an alliance. There's so many rabbit holes you could go on.
Sure.
That oh, what was it? Some guy got in trouble in the UK for hacking, and he hacked into the government website, and it was talking about space, and it was saying it was like this team of networks together, and on some of the criteria it was like questions like where they are, and are they extraterrestrial or not, and it was just like, what is this? Is this true? Yeah, it was really fascinating.
I mean, hackers are electronic burglars, right? Can we trust them?
I don't know.
I don't know too.
Maybe not.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Are you a fan of Steve Vai's music?
Steve Vai, yeah. I don't have all of his albums or anything like that, but I listen to what is it? Love and War, is it that?
Great.
Um, a lot. I
Yeah.
listen to that album a lot.
The album before that, oh, Passion and Warfare, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The album before that, Flexible, there's a song called Little Green Men. And I remember even in high school there was this whole section in there where he said, Hollywood has, we've been conditioning you to, preparing you for your final, the final exposure or whatever, where it's like introducing you to cute little characters and making everything friendly and like socially possible. Essentially, I'm totally paraphrasing. Those would be terrible lyrics, but there could be truth to that. I don't know.
Oh,
I don't know
for
if I.
sure. For sure. Because you're talking about disclosure. And it's true. Around, back in the day, there are lots of alien movies around that time. Why? Why were they? Because I think they were thinking about, right, well, we should probably tell people that there was a crash at Roswell and aliens do exist. And then they thought, this isn't very good for people are going to panic, so let's not do that. But yeah, I think I totally believe that. And
Oh,
I'm kind of on the other side where I think if I see any media about UFOs or aliens, and it's about any sightings or something, I'll always look at the tone, because a lot of, I think, media is like negative, like aliens are a threat. We need to protect Earth, and they're going to be a threat or whatever. And I'm very skeptical about that. There's a whole thing about disclosure and people knowing the truth, because there's been so many files released over here anyway about lots of sightings, lots of military sightings, and loads of stuff. So yeah, I find it fascinating, and I'm kind of really skeptical if I see anything in the media, because I'm like, is this true? Or are they just framing it so then they can do like a false, oh, aliens exist, you all need to do what we say, or as an example.
Right.
I don't know if I'm making any sense.
What about this?
What's that?
What about this? Technological advancements exploded after 19 whatever that was, right? I mean, basically we had the most primitive flying machines, right?
Mm-hmm.
And then all of a sudden, whoa, we have an atomic bomb,
Mm-hmm.
right? What is the timeline of that? Do you know? Because I don't know. I don't know when yeah, I'm going to cheat right now. I'm going to look. Because let's see. Roswell
Is it
crash.
40s?
Maybe it was after. 47. Yeah, so it's after. It is after the US employs 2 atomic bombs. Shortly after. Do you suppose that it was a failed time travel trip to
Oh, maybe.
try to
I like that.
unfuck that?
I love that. I do love that.
Huh?
Maybe. Yeah.
I believe in time. Clearly, I believe in time
Yeah,
travel.
you do. I love it. Have you read The Time Traveler's Wife?
No, is that good?
Yes. Read that.
What
It's
they must
great.
have a strained relationship.
Yeah. But it's awesome. It's amazing.
What's it about?
Well, it's about a guy who travels through time and his reality of that. And he'll end up somewhere, no clothes, doesn't know where he is, doesn't know where he is in the world, and just trying to find his way back to the love of his life.
Wow, it's sad and romantic.
Yeah, it is.
It's like
Really good.
Terminator, but the opposite. He's like, Sarah Connor, I love you.
Yeah, it's cool. It's
This
really
is
good.
an incredibly fun turn that I did not see coming when we turned our computers on.
Yeah, I'm glad you're open to it.
Uh, have you ever considered making a concept album about this stuff?
Oh God, I don't think I could. I
Why
think
not?
I don't know. I don't know. I think people would think I'm crazy.
Look, people are going to hear this, and if they're going to, they're already going to think,
Yeah. Maybe I will. Maybe that's food for thought now. Concept album
right?
about aliens being on Earth.
You definitely should talk to my friend Leif.
Hook us up.
I will do
Let's do that.
that. uh, well, yeah. What a fun and unexpected twist we took.
Indeed, indeed. Loved it.
Do you
Thank
talk?
you.
Do you talk to your kids about aliens?
No,
No.
no. See, I'm kind of a bit like, oh God, I don't really talk about this.
Right.
I don't really talk about it.
Right.
Just with my dad, actually. That's it.
Oh, does he go for it?
Oh yeah, loves it.
Really?
Yeah,
What does
yeah.
he think? Does he have like hard convictions?
No, but he's all about peace and that he thinks that they've probably been here. He's seen a UFO actually. So have I, but he saw one when he was on an airplane, and he was like really calm, and it was there, and it was like huge, like black flat thing, and
Did other people
yeah,
in the airplane see it?
I don't know. I don't think he knows. I'm like, oh, but why don't you get your phone out, film it?
It was recently. It wasn't like
No, it wasn't. But I'm sure he would have had a phone then. It's one of those things. You're like, oh, Dad. But yeah, he's very peaceful about it all, and it's like, well, they're going to be of higher intelligence, and it's good to be aware. And I don't know. He doesn't sound as cray as me, but he doesn't read some of the stuff that I do, so probably for the best.
I think you should go down a time traveling tunnel.
I'm ready for that. I'm ready for that. Yeah.
I think that's time traveling in
Next,
the future.
I like it.
I'm going to start a magazine called Modern Time Travel.
I'll buy it. Definitely.
Subscription is cheap right now. We have, very cheap. Well, listen, I've had a great time talking to you. And talking to you about music was great, and I absolutely loved it. And you are a fucking phenomenal drummer, and I've loved to follow you on Instagram. I'm so happy that we won't talk about what song that you played drums on, but you just do you guys in cricket, do you knock it out of the park? Is that a thing?
Not really.
Not really. Well, here we knock it out of the park. You knocked it out of the park. Right out of the park.
Thanks. I loved it.
Uh
I love doing it.
super fun, and the track is coming together really nicely. I'm waiting for vocals right now.
Come
I'm
on.
hoping I have my fingers crossed for a celebrity keyboardist, um, who would be a very unexpected one. It's not Elton John, in case you
That's who I was thinking.
not a big Faith No More fan, it turns out.
Oh,
I don't
shame.
know if that's true or not. That's an alternative science fact.
Like it. I like it. Well, I can't wait. I really can't wait to see it and to hear it. Yeah.
So thank you so much. Are you taking more students? If someone wanted to study with you, are you taking students, or no? Are you like, I've met my capacity?
I'm almost at my capacity, but I can always squeeze in one or two, maybe. But they can reach me on my Instagram.
I'll tag that up at the top.
Cool.
My introduction.
Amazing. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you so much for giving me so much time. I really appreciate it.
No problem. No
You're
problem.
great. Oh,
No, you are.
I need your mailing address. I have a gift package to send you. All of my guests who not that appear on the podcast, but that appear in one of the cover song music videos. They get this very special package of very specific gifts.
Cool.
Yeah. It'll be great. Something for the trophy room, something for the wardrobe.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Can't wait. Oh, thank you.
So message that to me, please.
I will.
And then
No problem.
do you have any high def photos of you behind the kit?
Yes. Yes, I
Would
do.
you
I
send
do.
me a handful?
Yeah,
Thank you.
sure.
Awesome.
Rob.
Well, listen, thank you so much.
Cool. No worries.
All right.
And catch up soon.
Yes, indeed. Have a great
Thank you. You too.
Bye.
Bye.